The man accused of shooting and killing United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson is in police custody this morning, ending a 5-day manhunt for the 26-year-old suspect. Let's bring in former Assistant Director for Counterintelligence at the FBI, Frank Figliuzzi. He's also a senior MSNBC national security and intelligence analyst. Frank, good morning. So we walk through at the top of the hour how police found this 26-year-old. He was in Altoona, Pennsylvania, sitting at a McDonald's eating when an employee who'd seen that one moment, that one still image from the moment he checked in to an Upper West Side hostel last week, recognized his face, called 911. Two beat cops go in and confront him. They say, "Have you been to New York lately?" And according to the police, he began to shake, and it all fell apart from there. What more can you tell us this morning about the way they found this guy who police confessed yesterday wasn't even on their radar as of 24 hours ago?
Yeah, that's significant. That part right there, that he wasn't on our radar, really got my attention. Here's a guy whose face, or at least part of his face, has been plastered all over global media, yet no one had called in, no family members, no friends or colleagues. It takes a McDonald's employee who's really sharp and does the right thing. And what a contrast between that simple function there of that employee and all the high-tech sophistication and forensics, DNA and fingerprinting and cell phone tracking. Scuba divers, you got all of that going on. And what did it take? A member of the public saying, "I think the guy looks like the killer." And then I love the story of the 6-month rookie, just 6 months out of the academy, who comes and gets it right. He gets it right. He does the conversation. "Hey, can you take your mask down? Hey, have you been in New York recently?" And that allows a pat down. All of this happened in a very legalistic fashion. That allowed the pat down, which then found more evidence, which allowed a deeper search. All good, a good ending, but so many questions remain.
Yeah, they asked for ID, and the 26-year-old presented the very ID, the fake one from New Jersey that he presented at the youth hostel. So they were able to match that up and found a weapon as well. So as we begin to look and law enforcement begins to look at motive here, there was some scribblings, 3 pages, Tom Winter reports of railing in some ways against the healthcare industry. Not clear why. He did have a back surgery, it was reported, could be connected to that, estranged from his family in some ways. But really, a young man of great privilege. His family very wealthy, went to elite private schools, went to an Ivy League school, graduated a few years ago. What do you read into his profile and what we know so far to get you to some kind of motive?
It's interesting how this profile takes shape as we get more and more information. Initially, when we just heard the name, master's degree from Ivy League, this wasn't making a lot of sense. But now, as it's starting to gel, I'm seeing what I'm calling an activist killer, not a cold-blooded killer who, but rather he's about an ideology. We're going to learn more of that from his couple of pages of writing, but also we're learning a lot from his social media. He's posted, particularly on his X account, all kinds of discussions of the ethics and morality of murder. He seems to be aligned with the Unabomber in the sense that he read the Unabomber's manifesto and he concluded it is ethical and moral sometimes to kill somebody. And why? When it involves corporate greed and big corporate institutions. So we're going to find out the why, but I caution people, even if he cooperates and we get to the why, it's going to make perfect sense to him. It may not make sense to us.
Yeah. Frank, I want to ask you about the gun that they found, a ghost gun with some speculation that maybe even it was manufactured in a 3D printer, either that he did it or someone else did it for him. No serial number, pretty untraceable. How prevalent are these guns right now, and what sort of challenge do they pose for law enforcement to solve crimes exactly like this?
Yeah, so there's a micro issue with the ghost gun, and there's a macro societal issue. The micro issue is that's what allowed the Altoona PD to hold him. That's illegal to possess that ghost gun. The larger issue is of great concern to law enforcement, which is why they're federally against the law. You can make this by simply renting time on a 3D printer. You can go to some libraries and say, "I need 4 hours with the 3D printer today." You can manufacture a gun. There's instructions on the internet. What's the problem? It can't be traced. There's no serial number on it. And as we saw, it's not even reliable sometimes. You saw him struggle in the video in New York with that weapon. It appears to have jammed. He had to eject 3 live rounds to make it clear. It's dangerous, and the police tell us it's increasingly turning up at crime scenes.
Good Lord. Former Assistant Director for Counterintelligence at the FBI, Frank Figliuzzi. Thank you, Frank, very much.